Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for everyone. Welcome to the third session of 30 of UNS Fintech Summer School 2020, hosted by Center for Fintech and Banking UNS in collaboration with International Office UNS. My name is Laila, and I will be the moderator for this session. Module 9 will be spread into two sessions. The first one is Fintech application in Indonesia, and the second one is Fintech application in SME and HAM industry. The first session will be delivered by Mr. Pungki Purnawo Wibowo as Executive Director of Payment System Operation Department, Central Bank of Indonesia. He has graduated his doctoral in economics from University of Birmingham, London. So I want to say hi to Mr. Pungki. Thank you for joining with us. Hello, Mr. Pungki.
Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
So this module will be talk about fintech application in Indonesia. As we know, the COVID-19 pandemic has served as a wake-up call for the economic condition. How fintech can help to stimulate the economy. Okay, let's meet with our instructor, Mr. Pungki. You will be given 30 minutes to deliver your material, and we will continue to the question and answer around 15 minutes, and the time is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for your introduction about me. First of all, I would like to add a little bit additional information about me. I graduated I got my bachelor from University of Sudarmata. I graduated from Fakultas Ekonomi from Development. University. I graduated in 1990. Then I joined BIT as I was there. 2 or 3 years there. After I joined there, I received to study and in PhD for QC. So it is very good opportunity for me to know all the participants and to encourage you, especially for the students, to give your best, get a good mark, the best mark that you could afford, and you could apply to every single prominent institution in Indonesia, and hopefully that's for sure. Okay, I want to shorten my introduction, then I start my presentation. In my presentation, I would like to explain what Indonesia kind of fintech landscape. But I recognize that there are another friend or colleague from my office named Bapak Agung. He also explained about the policy of the payment system in Indonesia for 2025. So in my presentation about Indonesia fintech landscape, I think I already discussed with Pak Agung. I will talk a lot about financial inclusion relating with the fintech, and then I will talk about the Bank Indonesia fast payment. But as introduction, as a general introduction to you all, the payment system, I would like to give this presentation into 5 chapters. First one, business introduction. Second one, fintech trends, and the third one, decade of move, and the fourth one, Indonesian context, and the fifth one is Bank Indonesia policy. Next. An introduction. What do you think about the next financial technology? Financial technology in our perception is defined as technology and innovation in financial services that could result in new business models, application, process, or products with an associated material effect on the provision of financial services. This definition we quote from the in London. So by this definition, we would like to discuss about payment, clearing, and settlement, such as mobile payment, P2P transfer, web-based payment, and digital currency. The second one, deposit, lending, and capital leasing, such as P2P lending, crowdfunding. And the third one, market support, especially electronic aggregator or payment aggregator, we call it. And the fourth one is investment and risk management. discuss about electronic trading, robo-advisors, and others. The fifth one is insurance, wearables, Internet of Things. So by cover these five things as component of the financial technology, then you know that financial technology covers a lot of areas in our modern life right now. But the thing that I just read that I can't understand what they is talking about from the students. What do you mean? You could not hear me, or you're not clear about what I said. Ibu Leila, moderator.
Yes, Papa. Sorry, we can't hear you clearly, Papa.
It's not just because they don't understand what I say. Because I just read this from the message. They do not understand what I'm talking about. It is
Yes,
because of the
because
voice or because of the audio.
because of the your audio, Papa.
Now it's clear.
Better.
Better. Okay. Now next. Uh, if you talk about the fintech definition, then I go to the fintech characteristic, human-centered design. With the impact of the financial activity based on the technology, then the purpose such as reducing branch numbers, new approach to manage risk, increase in number of delivery channels, improving operational capabilities, leverage ecosystem and resources, simplify delivery channels, using technology to build relationships, it could be achieved. But most of all, by using the financial technology, you could integrating new technology for many purposes, leveraging data and analytics such as big data, build a culture of innovation, and meet customer needs based on the needs to do the transaction in the shortest time, and also with a lower price. So this financial technology will disrupt the way we conduct the business as used to be. In terms of they provide the accuracy, and also they provide the simplicity as well. These three could be achieved by adopt the financial technology or financial currency. But remain also you have to consider how to mitigating the risk by adopting this financial technology. The most important thing, how to protect your system, how you protect the information technology, your system application, and also the application of your information services to the what you call it cyber attack. So you have to be very careful before you adopting the technology. You have to consider all the risks that could be embedded in the adoption. Next. Now I talk about the fintech and the banks. As you know, bank is the intermediary variables. They connect the deficit and the surplus spending unit. This bank and this fintech suppose, and we hope as the bank, as the central bank, as the regulators, could cooperate together to provide a better service for the people. So in this regard, fintech could be treated as the front end of the bank, and the bank who is doing the settlement, they could be seen as the back office or back end in this business. Fintech here, they could provide what you call it revolutionary approach. They could provide what you call customer-centered products, digital touch point, direct peer-to-peer business models. It will be very costly for the banks if they would like to touch what we call small medium enterprises, which is most of them are located in the small remote area. And we have to remember our country as the archipelago country. So it's better they cooperate with the fintech, with the technology, the fintech technology, could achieve or could touch those kind of people with the lower price. So the bank could provide with the more efficient and could provide the better, lower price services or price products to the people. And fintech as the bridging and could be seen as front end, and what I said before, to through the banks, from the banks to the customer.
And the technology such as the artificial intelligence, learn as a service approach, seamless integration, E2E, digital processes and communication. Uh, it it enable people to do the transaction through the bank as a formal intermediary institution. We thought they have to be member or customer of the banks, but could do the settlement of the transaction through the fintech, which is will be processed through the banks. So if Mbak Lela, you stay in the remote area, and if to go to the bank, you will spend a lot of money for the transportation, and you will spend a lot of time as well to get to the bank. But with fintech, you could go to your warung, your neighborhood around you. Maybe there's an agent of the fintech, or then you could use your mobile phone to do the transaction and to open your banking account without you come to the banking account. So everything will be very simple. Everything would be very efficient by collaboration with the bank. Of course, bank is an intermediary variable, intermediary institution. They have more access to the capital. They are more able to provide the distribution. As a bank, of course, I mentioned as intermediary institution, they are the trusted intermediation. They are under supervision of PI as a monetary and macroprudential and payment system institution, also supervised by the OJK as a banking supervision. Bank also provide infrastructure based on the capital they have to provide the technology, the latest technology, existing connectivity, and data access. They also have the expertise to provide the market structure, and the bank is heavily regulated. So here they must be conduct the business based on the good governance. Next, this is the development. The transaction value based on the source of Bank Indonesia, Association of Financial Technology in Indonesia, you could see in 2020 they predict the growth is 24.5% for the fintech, and the volume of the transaction is 25.5 billion. The fintech player growth from 140 in 2016 to 307 to 2020. The transaction value of the fintech, 90.27% of the transaction of digital payment. So you could see that the progress and the performance of the fintech industry in Indonesia is accelerating due to the fact that now everything going to the digital. Due to the fact that, I'm sorry to say this, COVID also pushed the people doing the non-cash transaction, so the fintech became very important. They would like to avoid the virus of the COVID, so they do the transaction through the non-cash. And the third one is the regulation then and the climate of the investment also established in a very good way by the government and also the regulators such as PI and OJK. Next. Indonesian fintech, you could see there are many industries in Indonesia doing the fintech services. But here, you could see that they cover many areas. Could do the payment and transfer. They could also doing capital market, online lending, crowdfunding, payment verification, agri-market and financing, financial management, and others. The most important thing you have to remember this thing. For the payment system industry, such as fintech who doing payment and transfer, they have to be supervised, regulated, and get licensed from VI. But for the payment doing the online lending, acting as a bank, acting like cooperatives, acting as a PPR, to extend the loans to the people, they have to be under supervision and regulated by OJK. So PI and OJK try to establish conducive climate for the fintech industry by uh, uh, by providing the regulation, supervision, and also license for the one capable doing the fintech activities based on the requirement that we impose. Next. Now fintech trends. Next. Next. Smartphone trends. I could see that all the people here, especially the students, they're using the mobile devices. Most of you maybe have more than one, and also the smartphone now become very common to be used by most of us, especially the students, for doing chatting, for doing social media, for doing transaction through the mobile phone. So the penetration of mobile device worldwide, you could see have the exponential progress as well, and the using of the number of smartphone also in line with the device in the industry. So there is one thing that maybe so far we not really technology. The technology always related with the computer, but also in your hand. The technology just only provided by other also in your hand. You could do the transaction, you could do the communication, you could do your order to everybody by or through the mobile phone. So the penetration of mobile phone help the industry of financial technology. Next. If you talk about the sandbox here, what do you call it sandbox? As I mentioned before, the fintech industry cover many of things, cover many area in our modern life, such as I mentioned about the doing the transaction daily, or doing the shopping daily, or you would like to see the film through the Netflix and others. But you have to remember, we as a regulator have to supervise and we have to convince that this kind of product of the date and come to the right person as your partner in doing transaction. All of those things has to be tested first if it is new product. We call that the sandbox activities. The sandbox activities like what you call it, trial and error activities propose the fintech industries under the supervision of the regulator like Central Bank and OJK. And we here in Indonesia, Bank Indonesia and OJK have the sandbox OJK for the crowdfund funding, online funding, Bank Indonesia for the payment and transfer industry. Next. This mobile phone help us. I said to you before that we are archipelago country. We have many thousands of islands. We have population across those islands, and actually the infrastructure to touch quote unquote to mingle with all the people in Indonesia is very costly because the infrastructure is not well established enough. But with the progress of the mobile phone, especially the smartphone, now help to establish the bridge or to establish the link between the banks and the fintechs, and on the one hand, to the people or customer across Indonesia. And it helps what I inclusion here. Inclusion here is the functions like online or proceed lending or credit as well from those institutions that enable those small people or the marginal people, what I said, I mean, to have capability to do the non-cash transaction, to have record about their transaction, then capable or encourage them to upgrade it to the next class by having loans from the bank or online lending companies. So they not just only rely on some limited capital that they already have. It is by having money or having loans from those institutions. From this point, I would like to have questions from you all. I give you option to give maybe just only 3 questions, Leila. Maybe there among students would like to ask about what I just presented.
Yes, you can do it.
Yeah, please.
Please.
Give the question.
Okay. So there is a question. Uh, Now, for the first is from Abdul Karim Asif from Pakistan. He is a PhD Computer Science in University Gajah Mada.
Okay.
He asked, fintech application in Indonesia merged with PayPal and American Express, does it? And then the second question is, are there any types of fintech business that are at present prohibited or restricted in your jurisdiction? Maybe about cryptocurrency based in business.
Okay. The first question I could not get what you said.
Is fintech application in Indonesia merged with PayPal and American Express? Is fintech application in Indonesia merged with PayPal and American Express?
Okay, for the first question, I think it's a very good question. Our colleague from Pakistan.
Yeah.
This payment industry, as I mentioned, also indicate that Indonesia is we have to put into the technology industry. But electronic money right now is 51% of the company had to be owned by the domestic entrepreneur. The rest could be owned by the foreigners. Related with your first question, of course, we are very happy to facilitate if there are foreign company, the Indonesian Fintech has certain regulations, certain requirement that the majority ownership of Indonesian entrepreneur must be bigger by 50%. Foreign is 49%. This is not just this not restriction to discount. We want this opportunity also in every industry have more role. The second
The second question is, are and restriction?
Like cryptocurrency, put this way, there are not a length for cryptocurrency right now. because the impact of cryptocurrency, it is circulated outside central activity. Single money circulation in Indonesia has to be regulated and supervised by Indonesia. Money is not currency that could be classified as those two. They could be treated as a commodity, not money. That's why, yes, I know what you mean. There is certain activities that we need not agree, or we not impose, agree with
Okay,
this
for these platforms like
technology. Okay. Banking activities in Indonesia for the cryptocurrency. Because again, cryptocurrency is commodity and could not be treated in Indonesia as a money. Okay?
so. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
I
Tungki.
continue again next month.
Okay. Okay, because we have a limited time, so we have to end the question and answer session. So thank you so much, Mr. Tungki. Because I think, yeah.
There is another question. Okay. Any other question?
No, no, please, sir. Only the 3 questions.
Okay. So I will end my presentation now.
Maybe you can give your last statement.
Okay. I have to mention this thing. There are certain things as that you have to know about this fintech industry. As you could see on the page 16, data is a new oil. By doing the fintech industry, you will get what you call data, and by having this data, analyze this data in the good way, you could provide the best policy for the economic of Indonesia. So data is a new oil, and there's a security as well for using data, because data were related to the personal identity. So you have to be very careful with the data, but data is the main resources for the economic growth of Indonesia for the future. Cloud technology is a very good alternative to promote the fintech industry, because again, the transaction, the data is very big. So by adopting the cloud technology, which is with the low price, it could help the people, the entrepreneur, the regulators to store the data by using the technology. Cashless will be the future of the economic transaction in Indonesia. With the more educated people, the more needs of using the cashless transaction. And much of digital assets, there's another thing. The digital assets, everything has to be digital, stored in the technology, and must be certificate using the digitalization process. So there's another business, there's another activity as well, like, together with the fintech industry. But of big tech, the growth, if the industry growing so fast, the opportunity there, and the technology become very complicated. The only one who could provide all those things is the biggest one. So there is a competition as well here. There is adoption of new technology, innovation as well. So the big tech, the big company who could got the benefit of those things will be the big tech that would provide more efficient with the cheaper product, and will have the coverage with a more big area, will be the winner of this industry. Cyber attack, as I mentioned before, at the first, very important to be mitigated. So we have to be very careful with this cyber attack. If something happens, there is some attack on our system that will cause a big problem. So again, we welcome the technology in our financial industry. We promote this technology to give more prosperity for the Indonesian economy, but we have to be careful how to mitigate the risk, and one of them is cyber attack. Thank you.
Thank you, Bapak Pungki, for your time and your material. You give me a good insight for all of us. And because we have a limited time, so we will end the session. And for all the students, it's time for you to fill the attendance list. You can click the link that we have shared in Zoom chat box. You have to fill with your summer school student ID and the module you are joining now. You are joining in the module 9 Fintech application.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. So thank you Bapak Pungki. Nice to meet you.